Hello, guys. Um, this time I got the internet right. This time using my phone internet. So hopefully there's no weirdness happening. But today we're going to talk about a movie that I actually this weekend, the Spider-Man sequel, Spider-Man: Far From Home, and a little bit about it. It was released this year, 2019. It's rated PG-13, and it's 8 hours 9 minutes long. Actually, right now it has 8.1 out of 10 on IMDb with about 48,000 ish user votes and 69% on Metacritic, about 53 critics. It stars Tom Holland, of course, was in the other Spider-Man movie, and another movie called The Impossible. And it also has Jake Gyllenhaal, who was in Nightcrawler. And then John Watts, by John Watts, who did Cop Car, and I believe he did Spider-Man: Homecoming too. The movie has 92% on Rotten Tomatoes by critics with 306 critics and 97% by audiences with about 35,000-ish audience people. And the critics' consensus on Rotten Tomatoes is that a breezily unpredictable blend of teen romance and superhero action, Spider-Man: Far From Home stylishly sets the stage for the next shoot, that last word, I don't think I finished it. Hold on a sec. Sometimes my handwriting is so shitty that when I write notes, when I do reviews, that that I fuck up and I have to go back. I've always been tempted to just read from my phone outright for the next era of the MCU, for the next era of the MCU. All right. And okay, now about the movie. Now, I'm going to try to stay away from spoilers. I'm going to try to just address what I think about the movie as a whole. All right. First of all, I do love this movie. Is it better than Homecoming? I don't know. I actually watched Homecoming again before I went to see the movie. I don't know. This movie feels different than Homecoming. Homecoming felt like it was more. I don't know. This movie, first off, the whole theme of the movie really revolves. I've noticed that these two Spider-Man movies, it seems like this seems to be based around the villain, which I like. Like the first movie was definitely, as much as it was a Spider-Man movie, it was really about Michael Keaton's character as the Vulture. This movie is kind of based about Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio, his character. Now, I'm not going to say how his character is. We all know in the comic books, it's not a secret that Mysterio is a bad guy in the comics. Now, in the commercials, he's been portrayed as a hero. Now, in all honesty, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, even when I saw the trailer, I was like, okay, there's a twist. Either he's actually a bad guy or there's another Mysterio. Because even in the trailers, he says he's from a different Earth, so it's no secret there. So they're bringing the multiple Earths thing, and they do mention some numbers that some MCU fans might recognize early on. But this is the MCU. Marvel, the biggest thing with Marvel, and this isn't just in movies, it's in comic books and everything too, they don't do a lot with things outside of like their Earth. Even though it is Marvel is comic book, they like to base their comic book characters kind of in a real world atmosphere. They don't really indulge in the sci-fi intricacies like DC does. And that's why I always kind of slightly edge into DC a tad, because DC will go batshit over anything. It doesn't matter what character or anything. They'll go ape shit over anything. Marvel really doesn't. And that's kind of, they kind of have Earth-ish. They kind of do sometimes a little touches, and it's just like, go crazy, go full board with it. And they really don't. And I knew when they started talking about it in the movie, I'm like, okay, yeah, we'll see, because I didn't expect it to keep, and there is a twist, and everyone, it's hard for me to talk about it. This movie's very twist and turned, and I will say that. All right, I'll say this: First, let's cover the basics. Let's start with the acting. The acting's fantastic in the movie. Tom Holland is still probably the best young Spider-Man we've had. I'm sorry, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield people. While I love Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield was great too, they're different Spider-Man in different universes. And in all honesty, I think the best thing they did with Tom Holland. Oh, hi, Rolando. That's Rolando there. And the best thing they did with Spider-Man is the best thing they did. Yeah. And the best thing they did with casting him, they casted him super young. Because I remember reading somewhere they actually plan on doing 9 Spider-Man movies, 3 of them in high school, 3 in when he's in college, and 3 as an adult. And I think that's smart with a character like Spider-Man. And it'll be the first time that they do multiple movies centered around a character that goes beyond 3 movies. And I think that's smart. In all honesty, I wish they did that more with other characters because some of these characters have such rich histories. And to put it all in like a trilogy, it's kind of a misnomer in all honesty. And yeah. But yeah, acting's great. Tom Holland's great. Yeah, the person who plays MJ, she's great. I forgot her name. I like what doing with the love interest because in all honesty, Mary Jane Watson, she was the love interest in 3 movies. Gwen Stacy was a love interest in 2. And I was reading about an article about the girlfriends of Spider-Man. He's actually had a lot more girlfriends outside of those 2. So in the comics, so it's I'm okay with them being creative because while Kristen Dunst's MJ, Mary Jane, in the original Spider-Man movies, I wouldn't say that those movies did her character 100% justice. They were present in there long enough to kind of cement the character. And Gwen, and you can't top Gwen Stacy Spider-Man. You can't top that chemistry between her and Field. Those movies. Fen, did you describe Disney Descendants on YouTube yesterday? Oh shoot. I almost forgot about that. I'll actually hold on a sec here. Be right back. Sorry about that. Had to take care of something quickly. Descendants. Okay, just did. And let me think. All right, what was I? Oh yeah, acting. But yeah, Mary Jane. But yeah, and they couldn't do Gwen Stacy, so it makes sense to go back to Mary Jane. But at the same time, I mean, those first movies with Mary Jane, it's kind of. I understand the need to do something different. That's kind of been the theme with the MCU Spider-Man is that it's something different. It's true to the comics. It's in the universe, but it's. Oh, thanks, Randall. And it's something different. And I like her. I like her a lot, actually. I like her with Peter too. I like them two together too. And yeah, let's see. Everyone else, Jake Gyllenhaal's fantastic in this movie. And in fact, in all honesty, the way he is in this movie, I kind of feels like he's been in the MCU all along. He kind of fits it like a glove. Now that I think about it, he doesn't really stand out in any. Sure, Orlando. And let's see. But yeah, and yeah, the early part of the movie, there's this group of creatures that are in the trailers that him and Spider-Man fight. Now, over the course of the movie, there's a twist, and Mysterio isn't all that he appears to be. There's a lot more to him, and I'm not going to say what. I will say this: him and Spider-Man do engage in some stuff, fighting stuff. A Mysterio, not the Mysterio you see in the movie. It's a different kind of Mysterio. It's kind of weird. There's something weird there. I'm not going to say how it's handled or anything, but it is there. So, and I would say the Spider-Man Mysterio engagements of fighting is definitely straight out of the comic books. They're very awesome. I will say Mysterio is a very good villain for Spider-Man in this stage because he kind of, I feel like each of these villains kind of brings out a more matureness from him. Like the Vulture in the first movie kind of brought a maturity of Spider-Man being able to do big time hero work with just him, not just any. This movie kind of brings out the same thing, but it's the next step because now because the first movie he had to do it without tools. This movie has to do it with tools. He has the tools, but he also is on his own, like the first one. So it's each one's kind of bring more out. And unlike the first movie, the villain in this one, he's a bit more Vulture. Vulture's kind of a more. He's an interesting villain. Mysterio's an interesting villain too, but since you got and let me think. So yeah, so that's interesting there. But yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal's good. You got Samuel L. Jackson, all the other MCU characters, and Ned, and all of them. They're all great too. Action scenes are great. I love the action scenes in this. I love the use. I love that they're in Europe. I like the showing some fight scenes in other places. I like the MCU's trying to have these movies based in other places besides America. I do like that because it kind of brings a world in together. Yeah, Orlando, I still got to get those. I'm going to try to get all of the shootout games, the Final Four, the Game Breaker, and the face-offs in them, and do kind of a series review of them before I focus on before I just played the 2001 specifically. And yeah, let's see, and yeah, and cinematography is fantastic, and yeah, the special effects, especially stuff surrounding Mysterio, is done fantastic, straight out of the comics. Oh my god, that ending. End credit scenes. I saw the mid one. The second one, we weren't there. We didn't stay for that. We should have, but I will say a character appears in the mid credit scene that people want to see in a Spider-Man movie for a long time, and seeing him there was pretty awesome. And it leaves a little twist at the end. It's going good. Same thing as always. We're all doing our thing, and that's for Orlando. And yeah. All right, positives and negatives. I will say the twists in the movies are good, but I feel like I never really believed that there was more to the Mysterio character. I was never like, oh, this guy's genuinely good, or actually, let me actually think. You know what? I knew that there was going to be a bad guy Mysterio, a bad guy version of Mysterio. I just didn't know how they were going to do that, and they did. And in all honesty, the twist actually was pretty good because of what went into that hidden secret within that movie. Personally, looking back, I kind of wish they went a bit further with it in some degrees, and I can't really say what without giving away spoilers, which I kind of don't want to do because it's still a relatively new movie. But there's a lot of cool stuff they do, a lot of neat stuff there, and some of the Mysterio tricks when he's fighting Spider-Man are very awesome, and I kind of wish there was more of it too. Oh yeah, Orlando. Yeah, I really want to beat that game. I haven't beat that game yet, and a lot of it's really hitting, and that's just something that I just haven't quite aced yet. But I'm gonna, but yeah, one day I'll beat it. And yeah, I got acting. Writing's great. I love the writing in this movie. Kind of brings out Spider-Man. Kind of gives him, because he's more on his own now, more than ever, and it's really up to him to make the choices and decisions that he has to make. And everything is a step up for him in terms of doing responsibility and twists and turns, because there's more of them than ever, and there's more, and yeah, he learns a lot in this movie, just like he learned in Far From Home. He learns a lot, and yeah, in overall, it's just a well-rounded movie. Let's see. Writing, direction, cinematography is fantastic. The special effects are fantastic. Really, everything's pretty. Yeah, Orlando, double header works better for time. Triple headers, in order to fit it within a reasonable amount of video time, I would have the games would have to be much shorter, and at that point, it's just not quite there. So having 2 games as 4 innings is a lot more well-rounded than having 3 games at like 3 innings, because 3 innings is too short. 4 innings is just right amount, and of course, if there's in case there's extra innings, then it's still time there too. But yeah, and yeah, what else? So we got acting. It's directed well, just like the first movie. Score, it's MCU score, and yeah, everything's pretty well aced. There's not really any weak spots. I say if there is one weak spot, I will say that this movie is very twisty, given the nature of the villain, and some twists. I will say the fighting twists work a lot. Oh yeah, I can. He does, but Madden 19 kind of destroyed him a little. He does, because me and him still do play sports games. I actually got some episodes that are going to start coming out Saturday, and also the video gaming league is going to be started coming out soon, and that will be cool too. So yeah, we do play sports games still. It's just with me working and him working, it's just been harder to produce a high amount of content. So you might see a tad bit of slowdown with content, but that's okay, because we're still because that's we'll still with it. So it's all good there. And what else? But yeah, Spider-Man: Far From Home is a great movie. It's still in theaters. Check it out. There's not much more I could say about it. It's really just a good, well-rounded movie. Is it better than Homecoming? Oh, hockey, baseball, or basketball, soccer. He loves hockey. I know that for sure. Hockey and baseball, he loves for sure. I don't know about. I think he does. He does love basketball too, but I think hockey and football are kind of his top ones. Soccer. I don't know about soccer. I'm gonna have to ask him on that. I never really got super into soccer. I mean, I don't necessarily have anything against the sport, but it's just not something I grew up with playing. Of course, soccer games on the channel, sure. I mean, if we've played rugby games on the channel, I mean, there's definitely will be a point where we'll check out a soccer game. But yeah, overall, Far From Home is a solid movie. Check it out in theaters. Definitely watch Homecoming first, at least. And Endgame, you gotta watch Avengers Endgame before you watch Homecoming. I mean, not home. And yeah, I will say it does move. The best thing about the movie, and is it better than Homecoming? I don't know. I think the biggest thing with this movie is that the twists and turns in it, the big twist, I will say the big twist actually happens kind of towards in the middle of the movie. It's kind of almost two different movies to a very small degree. So some people may not like that. Some people may feel like some people may feel like the twist should have happened. I don't know, I don't know. Some people may wish that the movie started with a bit more. I don't know, because the way they introduce the the twist, they sneak it in and then the reveal. Some people may like it, some people may not. I haven't heard a lot of people who don't, but I could see how some people might not. Homecoming, I think Homecoming's a bit safer, but executes everything super well. Far From Home takes more risks, but I think the risks pay off a lot. So for right now, I think Far From Home is probably the better movie of the two. But I don't know. I feel like Homecoming kind of, I don't know. They're both great movies. But Far From Home, I think, has a slight edge just because it kind of steps everything up for Spider-Man, at least. And yeah, that's all I have to say. It's a great movie. Check it out. It's still in theaters. It's fantastic. Watch Homecoming and Endgame. Endgame for sure. You have to watch first. Even if you don't watch Homecoming first, you gotta watch Endgame first. Even if you don't get to Homecoming. But yeah, I'm gonna close this out. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Check out that movie. It's a great movie and still in theaters. We just got into. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe and like the videos, and have a good day.